Talking Again podcast. Yeah.
So,
We have a lot of good burger joints in the city, but to have one that the city name is in the name of the business,
Yes.
you really want that one to step up and represent. So
honestly, that was another thing that I really took very personal for the community.
Yeah.
I really want to bring history and, parts of Covina into Covina Burgers.
Yeah.
It only seems right that we have things that belong to the community in there. Pictures of downtown, old pictures, historic pictures.
Yeah.
Anybody out there that has pictures of Covina, please bring them to me. I want to have those things in there because you're right. There are a lot of places, but there's only one Covina Burgers in Covina.
Yeah.
And so we really have a little bit more of a reputation to kind of live up to, I feel.
Yeah.
And it's for the community.
Mm-hmm.
It should be what they wanted, what they want in there. I'm sure that there would be pictures in there that, people that have been here forever, they go in there and say, hey, I remember that. I want people to feel comfortable about that.
Yeah.
Hosted by Fidel. Tell it like it is, only tell it real. Live every Tuesday, you know the deal. We talking again.
What's up, everybody? This is Fidel Talking Again podcast. I'm here in another edition of The Tap. In studio, I have Alicia Krause. Is it Alicia or Alicia?
Yes, I go by either.
Either?
Either
Because,
or.
I get corrected very often when I see the word Alicia, because I'm Latino, I say
Of
Alicia.
course. Yes.
And then they go, it's Alicia.
Yeah, no. I go by Alicia.
Okay.
I go by it.
Alicia Krause.
That's right.
The owner of Covina Burgers. Shout out to Covina Burgers.
Yes.
It's family owned, right?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, this is cool. When you guys, you guys took over, I thought it was 2 years. You've only been open for 9 months. Oh, I'm sorry. You've been owner for 9 months.
9 months. July 1st, 2020.
I missed the sign that said under new ownership.
Yes.
Did you guys not put it up?
We did not put one.
Or what was the reasoning behind that?
We were trying to fill out the situation before we did that.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually trying to be somewhat respectful of the old owner as well because I didn't want to ruffle any feathers.
Mm-hmm.
We were new. And so our new ownership banner actually came way by Facebook and joining Covina Buzz.
Yeah.
And I introduced us on there. So from there, thankfully, the banner never had to go up.
Yeah.
People knew, and they just started coming.
And there was no grand opening or anything
Nothing.
like that, or grand reopening,
Nope.
I should say.
We just hit the ground running.
That's good. What is it called? Boots to the ground.
Yeah, it's exactly how it was.
Yeah. So, talk a little bit about the Covina Buzz. How much did you see? How much of an improvement did you see? Does it work? Does it not work? Is it just a facade? Is it just for likes? Okay.
It does work. And shout out to them. They have done a lot. Actually didn't really do anything except accept my request to let me in there. And then from there, I introduced ourselves, myself and my husband, as being the new owners. And then people just, I think my first post just about us being owners, I had more than 300 people like just that one post.
Yeah.
And I started getting a lot of feedback of people, no disrespect to the old owner, but a lot of people stopped going to the restaurant because of how it was being ran.
Yeah.
And so from there, I really started to read those messages and really wanted to do better under us.
Yeah.
My husband and I, we have our experience. And so I knew we could do better. And I wanted to make the community proud, that they could come back and they could feel comfortable and it wasn't another bad experience.
Yeah. See, you know what? I have to be honest with you because I've been here I lived in Covina for about 20 some odd years. I moved out here when I was 5 years old. Okay. And I had never, ever, ever visited Covina Burgers ever. So we just never did, and we lived in Covina. It was a little further out on the unincorporated area of Covina, but we were in Covina, but we just never visited. I don't think I'm not gonna go. The first time I was at Covina Burgers was maybe about a year ago.
Oh, okay.
I tried it out. So then you're saying it was by the old ownership. I didn't experience any bad stuff.
Right.
But I hear, not only from you, but from other people that it was a bad experience out there. I don't know of it. Because I wasn't on Covina Buzz. I didn't hear. This is somewhat new, Covina Buzz and the groups and stuff.
Right.
Relatively new, where you're starting to see all that stuff. Yelp reviews, I never check them, but I'm pretty sure those were pretty bad.
So speaking of Yelp,
into
I
it.
was giving.
Let's tap into it.
I actually took over the old Yelp account from the previous owner, and I read those comments and really wanted to make sure that we were not doing what she was doing. Studied a lot of them, honestly.
Yeah.
It was my homework.
Yeah.
My husband and I went in there as a team, and my part of handling the business was handling the front, truly the customer service, making things better from that end of it. And the Yelp reviews were horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, they were nightmares. And I just couldn't imagine that us owning this, you know, we were definitely not going to allow those types of things to happen the way that these people had experienced things. And so I really started to study them, really paid attention to everybody on Covina Buzz, things that they asked for, even adding things to the menu because of what they wanted.
Well, not to interrupt, but what was one of the things you added to the menu?
So the one thing that became a favorite that we did not have was the famous Cobb Salad.
Okay.
And ironically, we had everything in the restaurant to make a Cobb salad, but it just wasn't there. And so I told my husband, I said, we need to make a Cobb salad. And my husband had no idea what we were doing. Yeah. And I said, just let me have the cooks put it together. Yeah. And so they did. And it was perfect. And I took a picture of it. And I remembered that there was one person in particular on Covina Buzz that wanted the salad. Yeah. And I messaged her with the picture and I told her, come get your salad because we have it.
Nice.
From there, everybody started coming. And so I go out to the drive-through a lot, to the driveway. If we start to get a lot of customers, I go out there and I take orders. And people would ask me, I heard that you guys have a Cobb salad. Yeah. Is it still? Yeah. So it got permanently put on the menu.
Wow.
So that was one of the biggest things that we did, was to put that on there. But it was simple, but I want to make sure that it was if the customers wanted it, and they kept saying that there wasn't a good Cobb salad. So I hope everybody still loves the Cobb salad.
Yeah. And that goes back to like you're doing your research, right? The Yelp reviews. You were talking about that. You're on there, you're doing your research, you're studying because you don't want to fall to that, let it fall to that wayside.
No, it's important. It's very important to us that the customers get what they want. That's what keeps the business going. If they are not happy, we have no business. And ironically enough, so you are from Covina, but we are not. Yeah. And so I had to get into a group and try to reach out to a community that I have no idea where I'm at, what I'm doing. I'm still learning where I'm at. So it was very important to really listen to them, read what they wanted. Yeah. So that's what we did.
Covina, obviously I live in West Covina now, but I grew up in Covina. We're very small and we may not know every single one of our neighbors, but we know who we are as Covinians. Covinians?
Right.
Is that how you say Covinians? Yes.
And I have noticed that. Yes. I've noticed that a lot. Everybody sticks together for a lot of things. Ironically, even through, social media, they may not see each other in person or on a daily basis, but they connect online, on Facebook. And so it was important. It was super important, to just make sure that everybody was happy. And I've really met a lot of very nice customers that have come in, that have introduced themselves, that asked me because they've seen me, and they're like, wait, you're the one that's done this? And I'm like, yeah, and they're like, thank you so much for, listening and just really being a part of the community. And it's been very, very good. We've been very blessed.
Yeah. So we have a lot of good burger joints in the city, but to have one that the city name is in the name of the business, you really want that one to step up and represent. So
honestly, that was another thing that I really took very personal for the community. Yeah. Which is another reason that right now our dining room is a disaster. We're taking the things down off the walls that were there from the previous owner because I requested, and I'm still going to request once again. So anybody out there that has pictures of Covina, please bring them to me. Yeah. I really want to bring history and, parts of Covina into Covina Burgers. Yeah. It only seems right that we have things that belong to the community in there. Pictures of downtown. old pictures, historic pictures.
Yeah.
I want to have those things in there because you're right. There are a lot of places, but there's only one Covina Burgers in Covina.
Yeah.
And so we really have a little bit more of a reputation to kind of live up to, I feel.
Yeah.
And it's for the community. It should be what they wanted, what they want in there. I'm sure that there would be pictures in there that, you know, people that have been here forever, they go in there and say, hey, I remember that. I want people to feel comfortable about that.
Yeah.
So that's what I really want to do, is to put pictures back in there.
And I know there's sites out there that are like historian sites of certain cities. And I know Covina has one. West Covina for sure has one. It would be really cool for you to get those kind of photos.
Yes.
So if you guys, again, we're reaching out. If you guys can get that, that'd be awesome.
Help me.
Yes. It'd be cool, man. Imagine you can get like the grand opening of Covina Burgers, like one of those pictures.
Right.
Did you guys have any? Okay.
So she did have, as a matter of fact, we have her certificate that she was given by the County of Los Angeles. It's in the office from when she had her grand opening. And it was 15 years ago. So we have the certificate. Pictures, I don't know. Yeah. But we have the certificate. But I would love if there was any picture. There has to be pictures.
Oh, yeah, there has to be. I'm sure we could, the online, the media or online, everybody over there, I always say the internet is undefeated and they'll find it.
Yes.
If it's out there, they'll find it.
Yes.
So going back to the whole restaurant thing, you said you do have experience, not in Covina, but you do have experience in the restaurant business. How did you come about that? Were you a chef? Did you work in the industry,
No.
restaurant industry?
So originally, I worked at Farmer Boys in Moreno Valley, where we live, and my husband worked there. But my husband, his godfather, and his godfather's brothers are all the founding members of Farmer Boys. So it belongs to them, the entire thing. We started with them. So at the time when I worked for them, they only had 8 stores.
Okay.
And I actually managed their very first 2 franchises because I was with Farmer Boys before they were franchises.
Did they originate in Moreno Valley, in that area?
In Paris.
Oh, Paris. Okay.
Off the 215 freeway was their very original one. And then the one in Moreno Valley was one of their maybe 4th.
Wow.
Their 4th restaurant, somewhere around there. But that's how I ended up meeting my husband. And so we worked together. And then from there, we had a friend that was a manager at Farmer Boys that branched out on his own and got his own little, just small business, little restaurant on his own, little mom and pop. And then I went off and I was doing dental assisting, and I went to lunch at his restaurant one day, and he said, hey, I really need to talk to your husband because I want to go into partnership with him in our own restaurant.
Yeah.
And so that's how they ended up buying our first restaurant that we have in Riverside. It's called Crazy Greek Burgers. And we bought it with him. And then after a year, the partner wanted out of the restaurant. And so we bought him out and then just became sole owners of it. And from there, we've had it for 17 years.
You still have that restaurant?
Have it. Yeah.
Crazy
17
Greek
years
Burgers.
we've had it. Crazy Greek with a K. Because we had to be different.
Wait, Greek with a K?
No, crazy.
Oh,
with a
crazy
K.
with the K.
Yeah.
I was thinking, isn't that how you spell Greek with a K? Oh, crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So
KR, okay.
yeah. So we've had it for 17 years.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I quit what I was doing to help my husband. Already having a background in working in Farmer Boys, I did managers, stuff. I was in charge of everything there. And so it was a little bit different owning your own restaurant, though. There are no days off. Everything that goes wrong falls on your shoulders. Somebody doesn't come to work, you handle it. Yeah. So we were working really crazy hours. It was a sacrifice. A lot of people think that you own a business and it's just about making money.
Collecting and that's it, right?
It's not.
No.
It's not at all. There was a lot of sacrifices. And we stayed in it, and we watched a lot of other businesses around us fall during recession and stuff. And it was really, really tough.
Yeah. Especially in the Inland Empire, right?
Yes. We got hit really, really hard.
Yeah.
And I went into real estate. And then after I had our 11-year-old, my husband told me to just concentrate on real estate and stay out of the business, out of the restaurant.
Yeah.
And really fell on, again, another recession, and stuff got really, really tough out there. But he was determined to make sure that we didn't go under. And so he was in there every single day from open to close. He was doing prep in the morning, cashier in the afternoon, and then cooking at night, just to bring home a little bit of money and keep the doors open.
Yeah.
So we had the experience. That's why you don't see him. That's why he's not really a part of what goes on, because it was really a deal between him and I that us buying a bigger restaurant with a higher volume, more employees, he didn't need to be a part of the everyday business, cooking, prepping, doing cashier work. He earned his right to sit in his throne in his office and to just sit back and collect the money, pay the bills, but he paid his dues. He paid his dues.
17 years.
17 years.
And then before that, because he was doing Farmer Boys, right? Way before that.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you say bigger restaurant, is Covina Burgers bigger than the Crazy Greek? Okay. Yeah. So Crazy Greek, I'm picturing it like almost an In-N-Out, like very small.
It's small.
Shack.
It's small. And originally when it was built, it didn't even have an indoor dining room. It was a walk-up. Oh. So they expanded it and put a dining room inside, but it's not huge. It's not big at all. It's considerably smaller. Mm-hmm. But we have a drive-through, and believe it or not, in these times, drive-through is gold mine.
Yeah. Well, it's a must almost.
It's a huge thing. So that's what's kept that restaurant going. And then the same thing with Covina Burgers. So Covina Burgers is much bigger. Our staff is probably double of what we have at Crazy Greek. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot more that goes on. I mean, Covina Burgers was definitely more high volume. Money-wise, what we were doing, but I mean, just everything, the whole production. Our menu is huge. Yeah. I don't know if you've looked at it.
For Covina Burgers?
Yes.
You have there's 4 of them.
Huge.
There's like 4 screens, and I'm like, wow.
It's huge. Yeah. There's everything. So there's breakfast all day.
I mean, we're talking options galore.
Yes, everything. So there's breakfast all day. There's Asian plates, which I was a little leery of. Not that I don't like Asian food, but I just wasn't sure about selling teriyaki in a burger place, right? But then when I realized that we make our own teriyaki sauce and it's delicious. Yeah. And we have like a barbecue chicken plate that's actually made with a Korean marinade that's just delicious. Nice. There's those options. We have Mexican food. We make enchiladas. Yeah.
Menudo on the weekends.
By the way,
super good. The menudo.
I'm so glad that you loved it. I'm glad that you liked it. So we have that. And then we added the chile rellenos. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's on that menu. And at times it's a little difficult. A lot of people that only understand the concept, they think that it's just Covina Burgers. Yeah. They get a little impatient when they're in the drive-thru. I've read a lot of the comments about that. Yeah. But we have a big menu and everything is cooked when you order it. Yeah. So, you could very easily be in the drive-thru for a cheeseburger, but the car in front of you ordered a barbecue chicken plate and a lumberjack breakfast, whatever. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. It takes longer. So we just wanted to make sure that we kind of stress that to people. It's not because we're slow. Mm-hmm. We actually changed that format. Yeah. When we got there was only 2 cooks on the line. And I had to change that because we needed to go faster.
How many cooks you guys have now?
We have 3 on the line. And then the majority of the time, there's 3 cashiers, at least 2 cashiers, 1 for the drive-thru, 1 for the front, and then at least a middleman that is delegating and bagging up orders. Right. Because we have Uber Eats, we have DoorDash, we have Postmates, we have Grubhub. So we have orders coming from every angle. Mm-hmm. And so it's a well-oiled machine, but it takes a lot of people to get it done.
A lot of adjustments.
There's a lot of adjustments.
With the COVID and the pandemic, all the rules, right? There's been a lot of...
Yes, that has definitely changed a lot of things. And I think that just being able to adjust, like you said, drive-thru, huge. The online ordering platforms, huge as well, because a lot of people they took the indoor dining away from us immediately. Yeah. As a matter of fact, when we started on July 1st, they shut down indoor dining the same day. Wow. So, and when we went in, it was at 50%. We didn't enjoy any of that. It was taken away from us immediately. Yeah. So, there was a lot of adjustments that we really went in just kind of blindly. I was on a crash course. I had literally 3 or 4 days before we bought it to go in and study the restaurant. Wow. I didn't go in before that. We weren't really allowed to. Yeah. The owner didn't want anybody else to know what she was doing. So
Interesting.
we didn't have a chance to really go in and inspect anything,
Yeah.
and really understand the production until
So
like
it's like
the
almost
weekend
going in
before.
there blindfolded.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just kind of stood there with a notebook and my pen and my phone to take pictures of certain things, and just kind of observed from afar of things that I felt needed to change, things that I would have done differently. And as soon as July 1st hit, I'm like, okay, well, it's ours now. So now we're going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And we just started doing it.
Do you think has that always been in you to where you've been able to kind of like adjust to everything like really quick, where hey, you know
Just
we got
on the fly.
like is that something that you always had, or is that something that you think you developed during this time?
No, I even think, even aside from just the restaurant business, even as a kid, I grew up in a super small town, a town that was only 1,000 people.
Oh, wow.
And we lived in Northern California. And my dad was born in Linwood. He grew up in Southgate. So he knew Southern California. I had never been here before in my life. And he was in construction, and there was no business up there. Not for what my dad did.
Yeah.
And so we lived in a small town. You know, at the age of 6, I was riding my bike to school and going to the store for my parents, because what did you have to fear?
Yeah.
And it really started to get really hard for my dad, you know, financially, to take care of his family. And so he convinced my mom that we needed to move down here and there would be more work for him. And so when I was 9, we moved down here, and I had to adjust quickly.
Yeah.
It was a huge adjustment. Even though we moved to Moreno Valley, which is definitely not as big as even Covina or Los Angeles, but it was a huge step from going from 1,000 people to even 20,000 people. It was overnight.
Yeah.
And so I had to adjust quickly.
Yeah.
And I just kind of, it's kind of just been something that you hit the ground running. You just got to go.
You're just kind of ready for this.
Yeah. Just got to kind of adjust and just do it.
Did you at any point feel like, you know what, we made a mistake, man, this is not going to work out for us, maybe we should just call it quits? You know, we have the one in Moreno Valley. Did any of that cross your mind at all?
No, we did get to study from the financial side of things for the restaurant. So ironically, we opened escrow on that business back in 2019, at the end of 2019, with the intention of closing in February of 2020. And when we didn't, COVID hit, and then it really started to slow things down. Especially a portion of our money came from a loan. And so we had to get a lender in place. And we were still studying what she was doing, because we still had the option to back out. That would have been the time to back out before we really got in deep, right? And so we gauged it on the fact that our restaurant in Riverside was doing great. Drive-through was doing good. We were kicking ass. And even my husband said, he goes, you know, even from the restaurant in Riverside, we were doing numbers that he had never even seen before in the middle of a pandemic. Yeah. And so we kept studying things, and unfortunately, we would have closed escrow faster, but the lender that we had in place because of the pandemic freaked out, because he felt that most likely we weren't going to be able to pay back our portion.
High risk.
Because we were super high risk, and he backed out. So we had to scramble to get another lender in place, and then pretty much start all over again. And then just wanted to get in and get it under us, because there was just things that I wanted to do differently. I had visited the restaurant a few times on my own as a customer. And even from that observation, there was things that I didn't like, you know, and I wanted to get in there. I just wanted to change it. So no, there's never been a time that I've thought about it, or my husband's thought about it and like, God, we really made a mistake. Yeah. You know, for myself, I just figure ways to keep going, to keep improving things, you know, adding things to the menu, or gearing up for us to actually be able to have the dining room open again, to start having people come in, using a different concept in the dining room to actually make it more of like a sit down type, where, you know, you're being waited on at your table, instead of taking an order at the counter, you know, just so that people feel a little bit more like it's a one-on-one experience
Right, yeah.
instead of a fast food experience. I want people to forget that we have a drive-through
Yeah.
and that it's actually really supposed to be a fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that I want to continue to do.
Getting waitresses.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be a
host,
cool thing.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
we
you
have
know,
we have the space.
nowadays you may be able to find a virtual host with
I
the
know,
technology
right?
today.
Yeah, just check in.
Yeah,
check in. That's all you have to do. You check in and then you get seated and you just keep on going.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of different things that I want to be able to do in there. So my husband, thankfully, he gives me free reign to just, unless I get a little out of line and I start thinking some crazy things, but for the most part, things that I've gone to him with and just told him, like, I really think we needed to do this. And he's like, all right, let's try it. So fried Oreos, for instance, the fried Oreos were something, good. The fried Oreos were already a concept that the old owner had.
Oh, really?
She did them. And apparently it was a huge hit with everybody. But she got overwhelmed and didn't want to continue making them. So she took it off the menu.
Really?
And so then the employees started asking me to put them back.
Yeah.
I've never made an Oreo in my life, nor have I ever tried them before.
Yeah.
And so
a fried Oreo.
A fried Oreo.
You've tried
Oreos I've eaten, but not a fried Oreo.
Yeah, yes.
And so I did them. And as soon as I put them on Facebook, I sold 150 of them in an hour. So
it's insane, right?
Thank you, everyone. That's why you can get Oreos all the time now.
You guys want to know, they are delicious.
They are good.
Get the fried Oreos.
They are good.
Yes.
They are delicious. So that's how it happened. You know, just certain little things, simple little things that really don't cost us a lot of money, but make the customers happy.
Right.
They want those types of things. The bakery stuff, you know, it was the biggest thing for me that we were buying this restaurant, and I really wanted to make sure that there was an oven. I wanted an oven so that I could bake. I love to bake. And so we got in there, and there's a full kitchen in the back. And that's where we make the menudo. That's where we make the champorado. That's where I bake cookies.
Yeah.
And other ideas of things that I want to do back there. So I have free reign to do it.
It's funny, you know, when I went to go buy the menudo, and I told you I took it up to Crestline, and we had it up there. I paid. I did my whole thing, and then I was sitting around waiting for the menudo. Oh, so I did old school. I brought my own pot.
Oh, yeah.
Did they tell you? Or no?
Well, I saw it. Okay. I saw it in the picture that you sent me. Right. And my husband was like, well, that wasn't, did he take that pot?
That's old school. That's what we do.
That's cool.
We bring our own Oya. It's like, charge me for whatever. How many? 5? Okay, just instead of using yourself, just dump them in there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I brought my own Oya, and yeah, so I'm sitting around, and I see these cookies, and I'll go, wait a minute, those look like they're home baked. You know what? I go, can you charge me for cookies? And you know what? I need coffee with the cookies. Charge me again. Yeah. So I had to buy them, and they're so good.
Yeah.
Those cookies are so good.
Yeah, and then definitely even the whole thing with the menudo. So I'm not well versed in how it goes, like with the ollas and doing that kind of stuff. But my prep was telling me, she told me, she said, if people want to buy by the pot, they can bring their pots and we can sell it to them that way.
Yeah.
So you can buy our menudo by the pot if you want to.
There you go.
So yes, we do that. And I'm glad that you did it like that. But yeah, I mean, it became something. It was a little bit of it was a crash course with the menudo. Yeah. It took a little while.
Yeah.
We had some really bad reviews. We had some bad things that happened. Yeah. But then we really perfected it. Yeah. And she got it right. And so I was like, okay, cool. Then we're just going to keep going with it.
Yeah.
It was either we were going to make it or we just weren't. And we have people that come every weekend now looking for it. So we can't stop now.
No.
We can't stop. No. We can't stop. So
now we got to just push it out even more. Here, menudo.
That will happen.
Some more taglines. You got to get crazy on Instagram. More posts.
Yes.
More stories. Yes. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work.
Most people pay for that kind of stuff, for media to come out there and do everything.
I've talked to people they're like, wait a second, you're doing the social media too? And I'm like, well, yeah, because I need to see if it was even going to work.
Yeah.
I agree. From the Instagram side, I do need to do more. It's very easy with Facebook because I'm so accustomed to being able to post something, and if I share it on Covina Buzz, it just takes off.
Yeah.
And then the post just keeps going, and then you reshare things, and other people reshare things, and then from there, it just keeps going.
Yeah.
So the Instagram thing, I'm gonna work on a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do it all by myself.
Quick little tidbit: Instagram, you're able to link it up to your Facebook, and then you could just
and it just goes from there.
boom. So now you got two of them going on.
Yeah.
So you could run everything through your Instagram. But
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, we
Well,
will do that.
9 months. All right. You started this 9 months. This is like your baby, right? You're just giving birth
is.
to this thing now.
Yep.
What kind of message you want to send out to everybody out there?
Covina, you guys have been great to us. We are extremely grateful for everything that you guys have entrusted in us. I know that this restaurant has had some really, really bad times. And I hear you guys, I listen, I read, and I am just very thankful. So is my husband. Our family is thankful that you guys have really given us another chance. And we take it super, super personal. We try very hard to accommodate everybody. So I'm just grateful. I'm thankful that the community has given us this chance. It's huge. I mean, we have lines, out our driveway that have gone out into the street. I'm like, wow.
That's when you know you're doing something right.
It's when you know you're doing something right. And it's been a very small amount of time. It does feel like it's been so much longer when it hasn't been.
Yeah, I thought it was 2 years.
But it's been a very, very huge blessing for us. And if the community wouldn't have given us the opportunity and given us a second chance, it would have never happened. So I'm grateful that they've allowed us this.
Yeah.
And they've really trusted. They're, like you said, there's a lot of places you can go. But I'm glad that a lot of people have given us a chance.
That's awesome.
So yes, thank you to everybody in Covina, everybody around. I know we're reaching more people, and I'm thankful that they've come.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Thank you very much. Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
So you're part of the family now in Covina and Talking Again podcast.
Yes.
So again, you guys check out Covina Burgers. It's located at 523 East San Bernardino Road, Cross Street, Barranca. You guys cannot miss it. Open every day from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., right?
6:30.
6:30.
6:30. We changed because we had people coming earlier. So thank you guys for coming earlier. So we opened earlier to make sure that everybody can get their breakfast burritos, their sandwiches, their pancakes, whatever they want. 6:30 in the morning.
Nice. Now you got some flexibility right before you get to work if
That's
you got to
right.
get there at 7. So
Yes.
there you go. So 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. You guys go visit Covina Burgers. And thank you very much for coming
Thank you
on.
for having me.
All right.
Thank you.
There you go. There you have it. This is Fidel. We're tapping out the show. Talking Again podcast. Adios.
Talking again, we talking again. Yeah. Welcome to the podcast. Might talk a little shit, get a little brash. Might drink a little bit, smoke a little bit. Vibe a little bit, laugh a little bit. Yeah. Hosted by Fidel. Tell it like it is, only tell it real. Live every Tuesday, you know the deal. We talking again, we talking again. You now tuned in to the tap in. You now tuned in to the tap in. You now tuned in to the tap in. We talking again, we talking again.